Hey, it's 9:52 a.m. It is Friday morning, January 12th. I know it's been a while since I made a video, so I thought I'd pop on here and do one really quick because Maria's been thinking. Okay, as a matter of fact, Maria's been overthinking, okay? But I wanted to say, like, whoever created this meme, I gotta tell you, it made my day. I thought it was hilarious. I thought it was like, it's just right up my alley. I know that I have a very odd sense of humor. Apparently, this person who created it is also very odd, but it's funny though because I've noticed like those old type paintings or depictions of like other like angels or like historical figures or just like old cultural type artwork. Some of them are very strange, and we wonder, like, what did that mean or whatever. So you take this picture and then you create something like this. I just thought it was hilarious. So anyway, I thought it was so funny. I had to show my son yesterday. It was just, and I had like tears in my eyes laughing at it. I have very odd humor, but yeah, that did the trick. It made my day. So I've been doing a lot of thinking about just life in general. Like, where has all of this led me? Where has it taken me? Obviously, I'm dealing with a lot of issues. I'm not working, and not that I want to go back to an office job because we all know how, what a nightmare that was. But still, it's like I don't have like an actual income at the moment, and so you know, I have to sit here and arrange payments and stuff like that. And this is why okay, I'm not trying to be like start a fight or like point blame or anything. But see, I'm somebody. I know people thought because I was a goofy kid that I don't have a thought, a serious thought in my head. I have always been somebody who tries to make provisions for myself, make plans for myself, and take responsibility for my life. Okay, and so this is one of the reasons why I created the Patreon channel in October. Okay, which I'm still not able to post the video that I wanted to post on there. It's been 2 months already. Okay, now mind you, I didn't want to get to the point of getting a last unemployment check. I didn't want to do that. I actually wanted to get off unemployment right, I would say sometime in November so I could just be done with it. And see, this is why the way things are manipulated in this world has got me like really digging deep into like the rabbit hole. And it makes me sad because I feel as though, and not just for myself, okay, but it makes me sad for other people, because I'll get into it later, but sometimes I just feel as though, life is very bleak sometimes, especially for some lot of other people. And it's like sometimes I feel like it's beyond their control, because it's not that I didn't do anything or try to help myself or I took like the easy way out or tried to, maybe use people for what they have. I've always tried to stand on my own. I have never tried to be a burden to anybody. I've always tried my best to pull my own weight in this world. And the thing is, like, when I think about how people thought of me as silly, and yeah, I love a good laugh. I will, I'm the kind of person who does like weird humor. I'm the kind of person who used to like to annoy people with dumb jokes so that they could roll their eyes. And the very fact that I got them to roll their eyes and mumble under their breath and show me that they were a little pissed off at the stupidity of what I was saying, I would get a charge out of it. That's what I thought was funny, right? I am one of those kind of people, but that doesn't mean that I don't have a a a vision, or I don't have any sort of take responsibility for my life. And that's where people get it wrong. They get it wrong completely. It's like, a person who has a sense of humor, it has nothing to do with your intellectual abilities. In fact, I think it has a lot to do. It's more like having a sense of humor shows that you do have intellectual abilities. I don't know. Maybe there's people who up in the world who feel as though like this ideal person who represents intelligence has to be like constantly thinking about things like politics or philosophical issues. And don't get me wrong, I mean, I think about those things a lot, but I also have to find some sort of humor. I think it's like a survival tactic because I realize more and more as I get older how miserable life is on earth, not just for myself, but for a lot of people. You know, um, it's just, it's horrible. Anyway, so let me get into these intuitive messages that I got, because I've been doing a lot of meditating. It's funny. I've been doing a lot of meditating and writing a lot of stuff down, because there's a lot of things that just keep popping into my mind. Uh, what mostly pops into my mind is the issues of, I think it's mainly the fake family setup and the arrangement of when I was growing up is what bothers me and disturbs me so much. You know what I mean? Which is what, which because it's very cruel. It's cruel. It's cruel. It's like, how is it that people could do such a thing type thing? But then I think about the Joseph Mengele, and of course all it really does make sense, but it's like this Nazi mindset, this Nazi plan was hanging over my head all my life. You know what I mean? That's deep to me. But anyway, okay. The first intuitive message that I got was that people think it's kind of cool, or they are taking it a little bit more seriously. This issue of like legalized marijuana. I think there's a lot of people who feel not that they would want to go out and smoke marijuana themselves, okay, but it's kind of making people understand that marijuana is not just something like that's identified with living a debaucherous lifestyle, okay, because, and that's what I used to think when I was a kid, especially like when you're younger and you hear like these anti-drug campaigns, and I understand the point of it, because I would say addiction is the main issue that people fear. They fear addiction. They fear falling into laziness. They fear being a slothful person, somebody who's non-productive, which is what people or characters that they have seen um, portrayed on like movies or whatever kind of like show like that's all they do. They're kind of like I said, they're funny teenagers. You know what I mean? They're kind of ideal teenagers because people explore at that time, and it's kind of excusable because they're young, and it's funny, and it does kind of like show how youthful a person can be. But it's a fear that people don't respect people who want to escape, who can't deal with reality. And this is what a lot of people think, that that's the only thing marijuana represents. And that's not true. You know what I mean? There's a positive side to marijuana. That is in no way of me saying that it's that I'm promoting it or anything like that. But the reason why I made this channel is because when you are a victim of like gang stalking or whatever, the focus is on you, and they nitpick every goddamn thing you do. You know what I mean? Because it's a lot of it has to do with their desire to dominate and to what do you call it? Yeah, dominate and modify behaviors that they don't understand. Okay. And I think if we all lived in a perfect world, nobody would have the need to have a drink of wine to unwind. Why would they unwind? They would have no need to unwind because everything in their life is balanced, right? What people try to be is balanced, and they use things like certain substances as a form of escape to a certain degree. You know what I mean? There's some people who can't wait to have that glass of wine when they get home. You know what I mean? Because it kind of takes the edge off, okay? But people look down on people who have more than one drink. Like they're always suspecting that person of possibly being an alcoholic, which an alcoholic would be in the same category as somebody who they think, just gets high all day. They're useless to society. They can produce nothing. They're helpless people. Helpless and hopeless people. Anyway, that's good that people's eyes have been opened a little bit more and more educated about marijuana. I do want to do a video on the use of marijuana for meditational purposes, and then also talk about the history and different cultures that used it throughout the ages. I also wanted to do a video on mushrooms, the benefit of mushrooms, but that's for future videos, of course. Anyway, yeah, I'm still the topic of like a lot of Saturday online discussions. And like, in the beginning, like when I started putting two and two together, that something or people were kind of homing in on me, I felt it in my solar plexus. And I also heard it because I'm also a clairaudient. And what it sounded like was people walking, like footsteps and whispers. And it sounded like people were like literally walking over me, you know. And in some weird way, like symbolically, they kind of were because they were basically discussing my fate without me fucking knowing it. You know what I mean? I would feel that, I would say that's being walked over, right? But anyway, um, yeah, and I know that right now people are talking about it. There's a lot of people who do want this issue of the Prince Alamehu thing out in the open. I think it's good for healing, but Joseph Mengele was not into healing. He was into suffering, okay? So when you look at the situation, it all, like, it's so narcissistic, it just makes me want to grow up. But anyway, yeah, uh, that's one of the things that they talk about. I don't know. I have no control over that. You know what I mean? I don't have any control over that. You know, that is up to them. You know what I mean? I did say I would like that done like within a 2 week period of time because I really don't want things dragging on. And this is why, you know, the thing is, this group of people, these like so-called brilliant Nazi whatever, but I'm gonna call them Nazi sympathizers who initiated this plan. Yeah, that's a good word. Nazi sympathizer. um, who initiated this plan? I'm just like. I can't tell you how insensitive their shit is. It really is, you know, and it inconvenienced my life and just, you know, all this negative stuff. But I really would like to kind of step away from talking too much about it because, like I said, I do want to just focus on like spiritual things, but I know that it is a big topic of conversation, and a lot of people do think about it because a lot of people were not really aware of all of this. They probably knew that I was a clone. They probably knew that, you know, they probably knew that, at least that much, okay? And they obviously knew that there was some sort of religious campaign against me or whatever. But they may not have thought deeply about where does all this originate, you know what I mean? So anyway, I was thinking a lot about the process of death, which I am kind of into that. No, I'm not suicidal, okay? But, you know, as you get older, I'm somebody who's realistic, okay? Like, I can talk about death openly, and, and it's like, I've always been that way. Since I was a kid, I remember I would freak my mom out, make her feel uncomfortable, because I would ask a little too many questions about death. And, you know, I feel like, I think it's important to understand how that process works. You know what I mean? Especially, especially as I get older, you know what I mean? I will say that Earth is a place of suffering, and I see suffering all around me. You know what I mean? I know I talk about my problems endlessly, like 1,300 goddamn videos, 1,300 plus on other channels kind of spread out here and there. And that's just this channel, right? But, you know, I do. I think that there's a lot of suffering on Earth. There's some people who are like on this constant hamster wheel, and it's just a hamster wheel that leads to absolutely nowhere. You know what I mean? And I become very much aware of people's suffering, and some of these people, you know, literally live in hopeless situations, and it's dark. You know, I think about it at night, and I'm like, damn, it's so depressing to me. You know what I mean? I don't like much things on the earth. I really don't. I mean, like I said, I like the vegetation. Some of the wildlife is cool, but some of that shit would probably kill you if it had a chance, right? You know what I mean? But I don't. I think life on Earth is miserable. So the only little bit of happiness is the life that we can show within ourselves. It's our hobbies. It's the things that we do love on the earth that keeps it bearable, that makes it bearable. For some people, that what makes it bearable is for them to live out in the country. If they have the ability to do so, they're going to do that. I know I'd live out in the country. I'd live so fucking far out in the country if I had the ability to do so. You know what I mean? Because, you know, it's a downer, you know, having to live in a world like this, you know, that's so animalistic and so malicious and so cold and calculating, you know. But I did think about the process of reincarnation, and, you know, how does that work? I mean, not just like the obviously wanting, having the desire to come back, But what about people who aren't, we're not historical figures? You know, like what about people who, what I mean historical figures is, it's not like Prince Alame, who was like in storybooks, okay? Because I have never heard of Prince Alame who, until that article back in May, I have never heard of him, ever. That name was never mentioned to me. Okay, and don't get me wrong. I mean, I've read about things in history. Okay, and I've read about things like pharaohs and stuff like that. The importance of it. I read about the religious practices and stuff like that. Some of these names I've heard before, but Prince Alberto I've never heard of before. And so where am I going with this? So obviously, okay, I'm going to consider him a historical figure. Why do I say that? Because as of now, there's information published about him, and it's something that took place a long time ago. He's not like the same kind of like historical figure as like Julius Caesar or something. Like, he's not like that, but he obviously has origins. Like when you think about the origins of him being the wife of King Tut. See, this sounds so weird, but that's why I'm dealing with it, is because it is weird. Okay, but anyway. Okay, so when I think about that, okay, that he's a little bit, yeah, he would be a historical figure because King Tut was definitely a historical figure, and his wife, maybe there was not so much emphasis placed on his wife, okay? At least not based on history that we know it, okay? But maybe in Egypt she was more revered, okay, because that's the land that she, lived in or whatever. But still, Prince Alemehu would be considered a someone who had a position of what they call a form of royalty. Okay, obviously like King Tut or whatever. And when I say royalty, I don't want it to sound like, um, you know, it's a different kind of stock. Okay, there's different stocks in different races and cultures. Okay, like Europe has their kings and queens, and they have, I believe Japan at one time. I don't know if they still. I have to look at their hierarchical system. I haven't really studied that. Um, but the different countries have their what do you call it? Their elites or whatever. So I always knew they existed. I just never realized I was of that blood. You know what I mean? But apparently, the process of reincarnation is. It seems as though it's like the same cycle. Like what I mean by that is like, you go within the same family, or you go within the same rank, or you go within even maybe friends of the family. Like I might come back. I'm not coming back. I don't fucking want to come back. I fucking hate this goddamn place. I really do. But let's just say, for example, we had friends of the family and we're very close, and there might be a way that you might be born again in that family or something like that. For people who are not royal, they pretty much have the reincarnation process as well. But I don't know exactly how that works. So that's pretty much what I was kind of meditating on. Yes, it matters to me. I care about everyone's journey. You know what I mean? Everyone's journey to me is important. I guess I just want deeper spiritual knowledge. Is that what it is? That's probably what it is. Anyway, next message or thought that I had is that. Oh, okay. I wrote this one down. There are levels of celestial life. Some go on to paradise type life, and others go on to drudgery. And they at that point they feel as though reincarnation is a good option for them, whatever state they're in. So that's another thought that I'm going to have to meditate on, because I want to feel like, what does that feel like being in this like kind of like a void. I know that there's spirits that roam the earth. Are they? Some of these spirits may seem like they're. I'm probably getting kind of weird and dark and morbid on people, but I can't help it. You know what I mean? Because I really don't like living on the earth. I think it sucks. I really do. It's just like misery everywhere I look. I'm experiencing misery. It's just not my. It's really not my thing. I don't like it. That doesn't mean that I'm somebody who is suicidal by any means, okay? I do believe that if you have the ability to, you should write it out as much as possible because I do think it matters, you know what I mean? But do I think sometimes people do take themselves out? Yeah, they do. I mean, they do. And obviously, I don't believe that the emperor who took himself out, on that issue, um, because he was confronted with feeling attacked at that time, he took himself out. Now, I don't believe that he is in any form of suffering whatsoever based on my meditation, so I don't. I'm just saying is, you know what? People deal with things the way that they do. Anyway, there's a lot of people who are kind of like women's rights supporters. That's the message I got. Who support me. And it's funny because like the time that I went to that metaphysical shop and the day that I was really pissed off, but I went to this little meeting. It was like a seance that was going on, right? And the funny thing is, the minute I got there, all the attention was on me. It was actually kind of uncomfortable, and they were asking me questions and stuff. And I'm like, this really doesn't have anything to do with the seance. But I did talk about. They were like telling me that they could tell that I was pissed off. So I kind of like I didn't go into it, but I was just like, I was basically saying that there were some issues going on in my workplace, and I felt as though I was being discriminated against. And they were like, oh, but don't make it a racial issue. Make this a woman's issue. I remember that very clearly. And I kept thinking, why is it going to be a woman's issue? I thought maybe it was because of the issue of my ex-husband maybe having some sort of control over me, which, you know, I do think that that has a lot to do with it. My sister Tanya, she comes from a religious structure where men feel as though women have to take their orders, and not in a way that is loving or caring. Like it's more like they feel like they need to be literally over a woman. And I am not political in any way because to me political is like when you stand up, you get behind a podium, right? And you try to sway people to see things your way. Okay. And I'm not one of those people. I literally just want to fucking get the hell out of Dodge, stay in my fucking apartment or wherever the hell I am and stay at the fuck out of worldly matters, okay? But I got dragged into this issue because obviously there was some sort of desperate need to try to convert me. And I kept thinking, okay, I am not into women's issues. Obviously, I believe that women should be able to make provisions for themselves, especially if they're in a situation a lot like mine, right? Where they come from an abusive family, which just happens to be fake as well, right? They have all their friends turn against them, right? They don't have a good work employment history because they've been targeted in the workplace multiple times. So the only thing a woman can do is take cover and take care of herself, right? So yeah, do I believe that women should be able to take care of themselves if they need to? Absolutely, from abuse. Okay, that's exactly what it is. I don't. I think these weird people who were like targeting me, like I said, their targeting is circular. They create the issue, right? And then they want to ask you and punish you for not complying with their fucking bullshit. Okay, I have every reason to feel the way that I do, that I need to protect myself. I have every reason to not trust people. I have every right to do that. I mean, and it's their fault. I've been running from basically weird Nazi freaks. You know what I mean? And it's not about some. I think some people think that women want to make a statement that they're better than men or they're equal to men, and it's not about that. It's like where women get dehumanized to the point of where they people forget that they're people. You know what I mean? Like I'm a woman, so therefore I should get married and have somebody rule over me. Or so maybe that's one of the reasons why they wanted it to make an issue. I didn't know that really at the time. You know what I mean? I just thought, okay, well, I was getting bullied over my hair at work, and I knew that. I don't know. I just didn't realize it was that deep. Okay, I just didn't realize it was that deep. But I mean, I I deal with my issues because that's the life that was given to me. It's not like um, I was doing this because I'm trying to make a statement or try to get women to create some sort of political uproar. But see, when you're dealing with being targeted, they're coming out for you. They're sitting here scoping you out, and then they want to interrogate you when you're not going with the program. The program freaks me the fuck out. You know what I mean? I don't like it. You know what I mean? It's not that I don't think that if people get married, if that's their choice to get married, okay, and I know like some people who follow the Bible, they feel as though the man is the head of the household. Okay, that's fine. Okay, but there are some people who use that to abuse other people. You know what I mean? Like I treat how can I say this? Like if I was a man, right, and I was married to a woman, what I think the right heart set is that I would want her to be happy. I don't need to feel like she needs to obey me, because if she loved me, the exchange would not be some sort of like order. Orders basically, when you command somebody to do something or you expect someone to be obedient, you're basically wanting them to cater to your needs, like without even thinking about theirs. You see what I mean? Seeing what I'm saying? I think the ideal like matches or whatever is to seek harmony. I don't think anybody wants to feel like they need to obey, because a lot of people will use that as a form of control, as abuse is basically what it is. And anyway, so when you explain your stance, I'm explaining my stance as to why I'm single. I'm explaining my stance as to why I care about myself and choose to only give my love and attention to certain individuals who are worthy of it. I'm not going to sit here. I mean, I understand like this is like I don't know what they call it. It's been around for so long, but the whole idea message that we have to love everybody, well, it's not fucking possible. We can't love everybody. We can love people to the point of where there's different levels of love. Like there's platonic, there's romantic love, there's whatever. But I'm talking about the kind of love where we show respect for people. You acknowledge them as living people, that they have families, that they have feelings, that they have whatever needs or whatever. So we don't interfere with that. That's showing respect. Okay. Not everybody is worthy of affection. Not everybody is worthy of that. And I'm aware of it. You know what I mean? I'm probably more aware of it than anybody, because I've only dealt with assholes or people who were representing to me nothing but Nazis. As I look at it closer. But anyway, back to the women's right issue. I have, if I was political, I mean, obviously I have a lot of legitimate causes or reasons to stand behind my word. You know what I mean? I've never tried to get people to rally or try to get people on my side of this issue, even though this is like a huge issue. Okay, I'm a black woman. I'm a woman. I'm single. Unlike a lot of other women, I get attacked people because I'm somebody who's just outright going to say it. Yeah, I care about myself. I care about myself. Literally, I care about myself. I care to adorn myself with things that I like. You know what I mean? Whereas, like, society tries to make people feel guilty because they want to take care of themselves. Oh, well, that looks like they'll try to accuse you of trying to attract the attention of men or blah, 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 blah. Oh, they have all these reasons, and I don't have to justify myself to no one. Because I woke up one morning and I just felt like, you know what? I think my complexion would look awesome in this blue shirt. I'm going to fucking wear it. I choose my clothes over people who abuse me. If that makes me a wicked person, I guess so be it. I care about me. It's that simple. And so I get tired of people trying to act like or vilify the fact that people want to make those choices. And that could also be a woman's issue. Because, like I mentioned, my sister Tanya, who looks cute in her little fucking tank top, right? People were trying to tell her, and this could be like the part of her cult that she belongs to, okay, or that she belonged to, okay. To me, if you're in a relationship, then that's between you and that couple. I'll be damned if somebody's going to tell me what I can and cannot wear. It's as simple as that. I don't think that certain organizations and structures should like govern your relationship. Because the minute that happens, it takes all the love out of it. Because people start being fake, they start keeping secrets, they start doing all this other stuff. And guess what? That person can't possibly be sincere to you. You see what I'm saying? I'm not the kind of person who likes people in my business. And that's my right. Don't tell me what to fucking wear. These are my. That's what freedom is. If your freedom is the ability to choose, to make those decisions, as long as I'm living within the law, and that's exactly what I do. It is not illegal to like to wear to match fine matching clothes. It is not illegal to make sure that I'm not even really into handbags, but if you want a handbag that matches your clothes or whatever, it's not anything wrong with it. You know what I mean? And for somebody to sit here and like poke and prod, assuming that I'm doing this for male attention, let me tell you something. If I wanted male attention, I have every right to seek that. Without fucking question. Don't you fucking ever question my fucking motives. Ever. It's my fucking goddamn right. Who the fuck are you? You know what I mean? So anyway, women go through a lot. They go through so much. And they get mixed messages all the time. This is a big problem with women, okay? Because, you know, I mentioned there was an article that I read back in the 90s. It was about this woman. She was a nice looking woman, too. She was a white woman. I think she lived somewhere in the South. And she was talking about how she lost, I don't know, maybe like 50 pounds or something. And, you know, I read the article. And I'm not like, you know, somebody who reads a bunch of shit. But I was interested in hearing about her transformation, right? So she was talking about how when she got married to her husband, you know, she started picking up weight, right? And her husband's family was letting her know that they weren't happy with it. They weren't happy with her, you know, being overweight and making her feel bad and whatever. So she ended up losing the weight, and it was like women get told that they a lot of times, you know, men marry women and they want them to be attractive because that's what attracted them in the first place. They want them to be attractive. And when they gain weight, then it becomes a problem, right? But if they try to take themselves back and get back to that state to where they were making their partner happy, then there's a lot of people who want to attack them. You know what I mean? And they accuse them of all kinds of things when that's just a natural state that she was meant to be in. There is an issue with people being overweight. It's an epidemic. All right, and if you try to step outside of that box because you don't want to be overweight, then you have to answer a bunch of questions. Why are you doing it? No, because you know I like my pants. I like looking good in my pants when I'm standing in the mirror. I look good for me. I love me. And I'm not fucking afraid to show it. And I have every reason to love myself. Why? Because I've never had good parents. I mean, I had a decent father, okay? He did the best he could based on the shit that he was going through. Okay, my mom, whatever, okay? Obviously, if you're in some sort of Joseph Mengele setup, probably don't have any true, really sincere friends, okay? So Maria loves Maria. And people should love themselves more. And I believe that, okay? And when you ask and you try to dig down as to why a person's doing, it's disrespecting them. Women get disrespected all the time. You know, they talk down on women and their choices all the time. You know, and when a woman starts getting overweight, they'll sit there and say, "Oh, she let herself go, and she's, you know, blah 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 blah." But if she still looks nice, they're gonna talk shit anyway. So either way, you're fucked, right? So why don't you just do what you want to do? It's that simple. And I'm not afraid to do that. And I have every right to do that. And I don't like being challenged on that. It's that simple. I don't like being challenged on it. And so what some people think is funny or just you're kidding me or whatever, when it comes to things like employment or whatever, yeah, I get real pissed off about that because you're denying me a right and I have every right to do what I want to do. I'm not going to let people sit here and try to bully me into a lifestyle that I don't agree with. Now, I sympathize a lot with overweight people. I do. I fucking sympathize with them because I understand. You know what? Fucking, they're no different than people that you look at as like an alcoholic. They are looking somehow to find some sort of pleasure, even if it's momentarily. Okay, so they'll eat their like ding dongs and ho hos, and they'll fucking eat like some pizza or whatever, and they don't like the cycle. They fucking hate the vicious cycle. They hate it. Okay, but then you get people who are angry because they can't break the vicious cycle, and they want to fucking blame you because you don't want to be a part of that. You know, and then they get upset because you're basically confronting them. No, I don't agree with that lifestyle. I don't agree with it. Do I understand it? Yes. Am I sympathetic to it? You bet I am. I'm totally sympathetic to it. They're pleasure seekers, and rightfully so. We suffer. So they choose food. Just like the alcoholic chooses alcohol, just like the over pothead chooses pot. Or somebody who's into heavier drugs. It's their little, what do you call it, vice, whatever. Okay? Believe me, I grew up in a family who ate, okay? Like, my family grew up poor, so it was like, let's just fucking eat, 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 and eat some more, okay? And, you know, and I didn't realize, like, I knew when I was younger that it was wrong. That it was like it's wrong. It's not good for your body. It's not right for you to live that way. It's not. Okay, stretch marks are not normal. They're not. Okay, it's but and I know people. You can get angry at me for saying this, and you probably will because people did when I wasn't even making an issue of it. I just decided to stop eating sugar, eliminating it from my life. You know what I mean? I mean, don't get me wrong. I indulge in a good fucking donut. And by the way, I was sad when Randy's Donuts closed. I was pissed off because I thought that and I like Foster's Donuts, but I was like kind of digging Randy's Donuts myself. Okay, there's days where I go out and have a donut. There's days like if I feel like I have like little celebration days here and there where I'll go out and get some candy or I'll have some donuts or I'll do that sort of stuff. But I keep it to the point of where it gives me something to look forward to. You know what I mean? To me, I look at those as special occasion days. But when I was younger, I remember like eating junk food like all the time. You know, um, candy bars in the morning and whatever. But as I get older, it's like no. And I do believe that a lot of sugar consumption does affect my mind. Because the minute I start eating a lot of sugar, my brain just fucking I get depressed. It's a depressant at this point. But anyway, people questioning a woman's choice is offensive. It's offensive for people to question the things that you do. It is because many women like some women love like shoes. They love shoes. They like all kinds of shoes. They have shitloads closets full of shoes, and it's because those shoes appeal to them. Okay, and it is not because she was thinking about what would so and so, this cute guy or whatever, think of these shoes. It's because it's a part of her. It's Would you call the love of shoes or clothes a hobby? I guess maybe a little bit. She likes her shoe collection. She likes having different shoes. She wants to wear a different pair of shoes all the time. Nothing's wrong with that. And it's as simple as that for a lot of people. You know what I mean? But you don't try to shame a woman if she chooses to want to look attractive to the opposite sex. No duh. That's the first thing generally what attracts people, is that sort of thing. Okay? But that's never been my motive. You know what I mean? I just love clothes. I love to accessorize if I can. Like I have earrings in the closet, and I want to say like for the people who look overdressed when they go to places like Walmart, I really do sympathize with them because somehow they want to do special things in their life. They want to go to special places, and they probably realize that they can't, but they're making the best of their situation. And I know what? There is nothing wrong with that. There's nothing wrong with that because you got to make the best of the bad situation. I will say though, like I usually wear like jeans and a decent shirt, and I do try to match a little bit. And if that pisses people off, Well, sorry. You know, I think the people like on the top of the pyramid and shit make life very miserable for a lot of people. The least I can do is have a fucking nice outfit. That's the least I can fucking enjoy. Because there's nothing really enjoyable about anything else on this fucking planet. Anyway, oh yeah, this is another reincarnation type issue that I had going through my mind. Oh, it was like I wrote down. It's wise to stay in. I put in parentheses heaven. Why enter into the realm of hell again? If you know this, I think you got the message by that. Like if you have the ability to reincarnate on the earth, if you have a choice to, I don't think I would do that. You know, uh, I got a chance to spend time with my father in this life, and I've enjoyed it. You know, the brief moments that I had with my father, but I would have not come back for any of this shit. I really would not. You know, it's just sucks. You know what I mean? It sucks. It sucks down here. Also, the last message I got was like I wanted to kind of like address this issue of manipulation of the lives of people. I don't know if everyone's life is as manipulated that as mine was, but it gets me thinking, that if it is like that, then that's very sad because a lot of people are being exploited. Think about if it's already determined whether or not you're going to be somebody in life, okay? If that's already determined, then that means there's a lot of people who are spending a lot of money getting educated for no goddamn reason. You know what I mean? It's like that's what I was thinking about earlier. Is like just being on this hamster wheel. Because I've known quite a few people who've gone to college and they just can't seem to find work in their field. So you know what they do? They go right back into the college system to get trained for something else, and they add more debt. And I'm like, oh my fucking god, that's just fucking sad. If that's the way it is, if we have these things that are just already laid out for people, it breaks my heart. Anyway, I'm going to wrap up this video. I will be back with another video sometime later. Thank you for watching. Take care. Bye-bye.